Hello and welcome back to the garage of the Studded Garage. After a couple of driving slash racing videos, I hope you found some entertainment value in those. Today we have something special. I want to go through all of the powertrain options for the 1/24th scale or 14 wide stud Lego MOC cars of mine. And before we get into it, two special announcements. One, we have two brand new models that we will be going over in a future episode. And two, that is some exhaust. And I'll just leave it at that. But that's coming soon. But for now, let's get into these powertrains. And I will be honest, I gotta say, the more proper term is engines. These are the engines that we implement into our 14 stud wide cars. So every single car actually has one of these. These are super important to me in deciding the personality of the car, spec-wise and design-wise and feature-wise. So I figured I'm gonna give you a video going through all of them, just real quick, an overview, just to give you like an oversight, how they're built, what they are, and we'll go through piston size, so least to greatest, but with one exception, and that is the first ever engine we implemented into our 14 stud wide cars. So let's get into it, starting with our V8. And just a quick reminder, if you do like today's video, remember to leave a like and maybe subscribe. Alrighty, so starting out the overview with the OG V8 here. This car is not implemented into any car anymore. I just keep it around because it honestly is a huge representation of the era of dedication to detail, where like these cars became less of can I build the car and more of how can I make them more detailed and more exciting. So this is the original V8. It was honestly in every car. Sometimes it was just the V8, sometimes it was a twin turbo V8, and then I broke it in half and created the 4-cylinder for a different car a long time ago, and it was the first car with anything other than a V8. So that was what kicked off all of this, because I decided, you know what? This is the next era. This is how we're going to make these cars more exciting. So now going into the piston count, going from least to greatest, we've got our 4-cylinder. We've got our 6 cylinders. So this would be our inline rotary 6. That is straight out of this car. I pulled it out for the video. That is right. Like I said, every car has one of these inside of it somehow. Either front engine, mid-engine, rear engine, somewhere. But they are all in there. This is our V6 with a twin turbo setup. And these are brand new. I just developed these. These are our H6s. So this is the smaller twin turbo. And then this would be the larger naturally aspirated one. So like the Porsche engines. Moving on to the V8s, we've got the supercharged V8. That thing is nasty. Then we've got our smaller displacement V8, which is a twin turbo, but beautiful V8 nonetheless. And then we've got our honkin' giant, rumbly-tumbly giant V8. That one's my favorite. It's honestly the most beautiful, in my opinion. And it's just the most fun to try to fit into places, into cars. So, then moving on to the V10. This one's pretty simple. And it's the only one with those curves at the end, but gives kind of the V10 kind of an exotic twist. V10s are probably my second favorite engine, next to V12s. So the 12-cylinder. This is the V12. Everything that we've ever built that has 12 cylinders has had the V12. But just today, because I wanted to see if I could, I built a W12. So that was just a minor flex on my part. I built that just to see if I could. But moving on to 16 cylinders, this is our old design for the 16-cylinder engine. It is missing all of the piston tops and then the top covers, just because it is being taken apart. But I wanted to keep it around just for this video and show you that old turbo style, because that was the old block. Now we have the newer turbo style, and we transferred over all 16 piston covers. And moving on to our last, but certainly not least by any means, option for power would be our exciting option for eco-friendly people. These are our EV systems. So this little one, as you can see, is just kind of like a slice right off of the big loaf. And this is our little hybrid pack. So this could be paired with any one of the internal combustion engines, and instantly we would have a hybrid system car, kind of like the Ferrari LaFerrari or the Porsche 918. I don't know why Ferraris sound so weird right now. But anyway, with that, then we've got the bigger loaf, and this would be our big battery. So the EV pack for our cars could be tuned and manipulated to prioritize range or speed. And this is not all talk, because check it out. Here's a little view inside. This bar right here would be our seat bar. That's what would be holding the seats to the car. But lift this off, there's a little view of what's inside. So these little yellow cells go up and down the entire length of this gray piece. So those would be kind of like the cells within the battery. And then you can just kind of throw that back on, because those are just the covers. And then this would be able to move up or back, anywhere that you would want to manipulate where the seats sit within the car. And then the top center is left open so that it can be mounted anywhere in the car as easily as possible, because that is a tricky situation, especially when it's one like little thin layer taller than a regular brick. So with that concludes all of our power options for our cars. I want to thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing the video. And also, if you want a detailed how to build on any one of these engines, I will do that. Just leave me a comment. So with that, take it easy. Have a nice Sunday. Easter if you celebrate it. Love everybody. Take it easy.